I've been asked by people to do updates more often on what is happening in Ukraine. The truth is, I really don't have the time. My focus is on our project, Heroes of Light, to help the children of Ukraine with the psychological trauma they're suffering from. But today, I thought I would do one. Last night was a massive missile and drone attack throughout all of Ukraine. It's happened now 2 nights in a row. Putin's targets, not military, but the infrastructure, so that there's no electricity, so that people will freeze to death. Because this is what Russians do. The descendants of the Golden Horde of Bhuta Khan are genocidal maniacs. They're barbarians. So when we talk in the US about not helping Ukraine anymore because of Russian threats, let's remember what Russia has done each time with their threat. They threaten nukes, God knows how many times. Yet what do they do each time that we cross a red line by helping Ukraine? They try to hurt Ukraine more. So let's finally help Ukraine totally. Let's give them what they need to shut down the skies so that these drones and missiles are not falling on the infrastructure in the cities, so that people do not freeze to death, so that people don't have to stay in the subways to stay safe, so the children can actually sleep in their own beds. See, there is no reason for this. The Russians are cowards, they are bullies, and they bluff. The maniacal midget, and that is Vladimir Putin because he's a short jerk, has nothing but bluffs because that's the Russian culture. It's all bull. So all we need to do is to shut down the skies, put planes in the air, and shut these missiles down. Shoot down the drones so they can't hit the infrastructure. Close the skies over Ukraine. We don't have to go into Russia. The Ukrainians will take care of the ground war. Let's take care of the skies. Do not let this death and destruction rain down upon them from the skies sent from hundreds of miles away. The United States initially restricted the usage of Ukraine of the weapons that we're giving. We would limit how far they could use them into Russia, so the Russians would fire from just outside that range. It's time for the Russians to feel this. It's time for the Russians to understand what's going on. Maybe for once in their history, they will stand up, but I doubt it. You see, the Ukrainian history and culture is of freedom, individuality. The Russian is about autocratic rule and working as mobs and groups. There's no individuals in Russia. They do what Mother Russia says. That's what Putin cannot have next to him. A free, successful, thriving Ukraine to show the Russians finally that their culture is really as barbaric as everyone knows it is. Let me tell a story from John Steinbeck in 1946 when he visited Moscow and Kiev. When he was in Moscow, he saw Russians walking around like they always do, dour and depressed. However, Moscow had barely been touched in World War II. When he went into Kiev, he was on Khreshchatyk Street, which was almost totally bombed. Yet he saw people dancing, laughing, surviving, going on with their lives, because that's what Ukrainians do. You will never take the freedom out of them. You will never take the individualism out of them. They will never become Russians. John Steinbeck, in his book that was published in 1947 or 1948, stated that these are not the same people. And he was correct. The Russians are not the Ukrainians. They never will be. They have neither the class, the culture, nor the history of Ukraine. So finally, the US and West needs to do what we've always promised. We need to stand up for freedom and democracy. That's all Ukrainians want. The United States, a group in the United States, has a slogan now called Make America Great Again. Well, in my opinion, America always was great. It was greatest when it stood up for the freedom and democracy of the rest of the world. We didn't hide and isolate and become selfish and cowards. We were there for others. That's what makes us great. By putting ourselves first, and not caring about anyone else? We're just like the Russians. Is that who we really want to be? So my challenge is for any of you to come here, deal with what I see every day. Anything from 10 to 12 hours of no electricity. In some of the smaller places, there's no electricity at all day. Yet the Ukrainians will not give in. And when this war is over, when this invasion is finished and they win, they will rebuild. And it will be a stronger Ukraine. It will be a Ukraine that for once, maybe the world will recognize who the people and culture actually are. It is unlike anything I've ever seen. It is a heart and soul that is like the heart and soul that used to be in America. Why we're not that anymore, I really don't know. In ways, it disgusts me. So, what do I suggest? Shut down the skies. Get these missiles and drones out of the air. We don't have to travel. We don't have to attack Russia. But there's nothing wrong with shutting the skies down over Ukraine. Helping Ukraine protect their own skies? Why is that a problem? Because Putin won't do anything. He's a coward. Because that's what Russians are. Cowards, bullies, and bluff. Until we do that, Ukrainians will suffer. Until we do that, Russia will continually bluff, and our cowardly political leaders and our cowardly people in our country, and some of the people that are actually owned by Russia, will continue their bull about what Russia will do. Russia will do nothing. It's a useless country. It's time to help. It's time to quit putting these people through this. It's way over 1,000 days now that they've fought. Let's help them. Not by entering the war against Russia, but by helping Ukraine defend itself. It's very easy. All I can say is, it's about time. Slava Ukraina. And God bless the USA that used to exist.